taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today is my son's birthday. December 3rd, Wednesday, 2025. Indices were up until apparently Microsoft came out and said to their sales staff, hey guys, we understand it's not going as well as we thought. Your quotas for selling AI have been cut down. And the whole market dropped by about 40 points. Gold dropped, silver dropped, oil dropped, Bitcoin dropped. That's all it takes, kids. That is all it takes. Getting a little bit of a bounce back, but looks like we're going to open a little bit red. I decided to pause my first couple BIC tranches to see what the price action does. Also, my 1DTE, I'm going to give it a minute as opposed to entering right at the open with that little sell-off. VIX spiked up to from under 16.4 up to 17.21 on that news. S&P is currently down 11. NASDAQ is down 109. Russell is up 10, and the Dow is down 70. Gold up almost 1%. Silver up a little over 0.5%. Notes and bonds a little bit green. 10-year yield down 0.5%. Oil's up 1%. Natty gas up over 2%. Soybeans a little bit green. Wheat and corn red. Euro is up 0.33%. Pound is up about 0.6%. Bitcoin's up 1.5%. Ethereum's up 3%. Bitcoin bouncing back. Russell bounced back the most. Microsoft is still bleeding lower. Netflix dropping. Apple never really dropped. In fact, Netflix never really dropped at first. Now it's dropping, but Apple never dropped at all, and it's bouncing a little bit. 2 inches of snow in Denver. Nice. We got about 4 or 5 on Monday. But it's pretty much, the roads are already clear. Temps kind of melted it away yesterday. Opt for dollar, are you a skier? Morning, Krish. Good morning, Brandon. No skiing. Haven't skied in a couple years. I skied every year there for a while. Either in been to Winter Park, Breckenridge, Beaver Creek, and then a lot of skiing in Park City, Utah. But it's been a couple years. Opening bell in about 10 seconds. There's the bell. Expected range for SPX looks like it's at 38.6. About 10 points higher than yesterday. So that would put the upper level at about 68.54. Lower level at about 67.77. Netflix and Amazon dropping. Apple getting strong. Tesla bouncing. Indices just kind of hovering still near the lows. You have, so the pre-market we had the ADP non-farm employment change. That was right here at 7:15. Had a little bit of a dip, but really not much movement. It was the Microsoft news that pushed the market down, apparently. We also have ISM Services PMI in 30 minutes. And then President Trump speaks at 1:30 p.m. Central. I'm not sure what that's about. All it says is due to speak at the White House. And it's not labeled as a red folder. It's just orange. So I'm not sure what that's about exactly. Tezzy bouncing up to pre-market highs. Pushing through pre-market highs up to previous day high. So Apple and Tesla kind of brushing off the Microsoft news. Amazon pushing lower, Meta pushing lower, Netflix lower. Chip stocks are still acting weak. Cryptos are acting weak. Big banks are bouncing. Now S&P and NASDAQ bouncing. Tesla and Apple both kind of pausing, rejecting a little bit at previous day high. Oh, is that what it is, Chris? He's announcing the new Fed? Or are you guessing? Yeah, so Apple and Tesla both kind of rejected that previous day high after making a quick push. Netflix still coming down hard. It's down 4%. Strongest stock on my board is Uber. It's moving. It's above yesterday's high and moving higher. It's up about 3.5%. Amazon really dropping. It's down 1.5%. Microsoft still dropping, down almost 3%. Biggest red, Netflix at 4.5%, NBIS at 4.5%. Crowd, I did that earnings fly on to the upside, and it's down 3%. So most likely I'll just kind of wait till Friday, see if that one happens to recover. Bob is down 3, MU's down 2, Amazon down 1.5. Get a pullback in Uber. I might take a runner off a pre-market high in Uber. Here's Uber. Really strong. A-Lab also strong. It's up 5%. Tesla back up to previous day high. Kind of dipped below pre-market highs. So I'm going to watch Uber, which I've got here on my upper right, and then Tesla. Apple's also hovering near previous day high. I just don't like Apple. Me and Apple don't get along very well. Banks are pushing. Oh, crypto's bouncing back. No pullback in Uber. Apple just ticked through highs of day. Tezzy has not been able to push back up through highs. It's kind of chopping around pre-market highs right now. Yeah, Tesla kind of rejecting here. Yeah, Tesla coming down pretty heavy now. So is Goog. Apple staying strong. Uber staying strong. Never got an entry in Uber. It's just ripping up 4% now. S&P, NASDAQ kind of chopping. I'm going to go ahead and enter my 1 DTE. All right, just posted my 1 DTE. Tesla bouncing back. Crypto moving up. Big bounce back in coin, MSTR, both of those back up to previous day high. Hood bouncing back in the green. I'm looking at Tesla, 2 DTE calls, 440 calls. $440 calls in Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and get in here. Filled at 598. Previous day high. Nice dip and then nice strong push. So I'm just catching it on the way up. See if it can make a continuation extension. Apple's now pulling back. Well, Tesla kind of got shut down as it ticked over highs of day. Just pausing, not pulling back much, but Apple back to previous day high. Bitcoin's ripping. Let's see, what are the chips doing here? Some are bouncing, some are not. TSM still bleeding. AVGO still weak. Yeah, not much bouncing out of the chips.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order filled.
I have an order at $7 as my first profit target in Tesla. I may adjust that down, but just have it in place in case it makes a quick pop. Looks like it wants to. Nice pop in hood, circle, coin, MSTR. Bitcoin really moving. Bitcoin is up almost 3% now. MSTR is up almost 5% with a big volume bar. Coin and MSTR and hood, all big volume bars on that push. Oh, Tezzy, come on, you got so close. So close. And then it just fizzled. So with MSTR, you've got previous day high, pre-market high, big volume bar. That if I wasn't in Tesla, I'd be looking at MSTR here. Bitcoin, little pause, pullback. Same with MSTR and coin. watching MSTR. I may consider getting it. If it pops back up, I'd be trading the 195 calls in MSTR. Tesla just can't push through. Waiting to see if MSTR can kind of stop the dip and pop back up to previous day high here before I would enter. Still dipping. Bitcoin's still dipping. Tesla trying again. Uber paused a little bit, but back up. Yeah, Bitcoin and the crypto bros are still dipping. S&P is just going nowhere. Same with the NASDAQ. Russell's stronger. Bitcoin ripped above pre-market highs, now back into pre-market range. Tesla still just chopping at previous day high here. I mean, I had a couple chances to hit, over 10% profit. I have my profit target a little higher in Tesla, but let's see what it does here. Uber back through highs. All right, still watching MSTR. Dip starting to get bought up a little bit. S&P starting to come down. Come on, Tezzy. Rip it. All right, looking at MSTR, 195 calls.
Order
I'm
cancelled.
going to go ahead and get in MSTR here.
Order partially filled. Order
Filled
filled.
at 345. It's a little bit below previous day high, but looks like the dip is starting to get bought up. Now it's kind of dipping again. Coin is acting stronger. Looks like coin may have been the better choice. See how coin popped back up and it's still staying strong, whereas MSTR popped up and then kind of rejected a little bit. All right, Tesla through highs. Still have my order at 7. It's trading at about 660. Ugh, rejected again. Trying again. All right, I'm going to move my order to 680. See if I can get out of some here. Just does not want to rip. Does not want to rip. Not getting any help from the market. Bitcoin's still coming down. MSTR did not hold. Tezzy rejected again. Still holding above previous day high. I'm watching MSTR here. S&P through lows. Tesla a little too wicky on top for my liking. Let's see if it wants to. S&P got a little dip by at the right at lows of day. We do have ISM here in about 5.5 minutes. I was hoping to hit a profit target or two before, but let's see what happens. The problem with these reports like ISM is most of the time they don't really do much, but they do cause a short-term quick fluctuation a lot of times. So I don't really like to have full positions on right when it comes out. If I've already hit a profit target, I don't mind. All right, MSTR's little dip's getting bought up a little bit. Tesla's still trying. We need to push out of this consolidation to the upside in the indices. Bitcoin needs to bounce back. Robinhood through highs, through pre-market highs. back in 1 minute. MSTR dipping back again. Tesla just kind of hovering. I'm going to take some Tesla off before this announcement. Let's try 660. Bitcoin's still coming down. Tesla dipped again. Hood still pushing. Bank's still strong. I'm going to cut MSTR and just hold Tesla through the data release. MSTR filled at 255. So cut that one for loss. Now Tesla's kind of dipping. I'm going to put my profit target back up in case it bounces. I'm going to put it back up at 7 where I had it. In case we get a quick pop. Data release should be coming out. S&P, little bounce up to highs today. Not much movement out of Tesla. Tesla ticked through highs. Let's see if it can make an extension here. S&P, NASDAQ almost up to highs. Hood is getting in the game. It's up to previous day high now. PLTR up to big bounce up to pre-market highs. Chips are bouncing, but Haven't gotten back their dip. There we go. Filled in Tesla at 7. Apple still chopping around previous day high. Oh, big bounce back in Meta. Got back all of its pre-market losses. S&P trying to go green. What's going on with Netflix? I replaced it with Uber on my screen. Oh, Netflix is dying a slow, painful death today. Down almost 6%. Welcome back, Hondo. Tesla now giving us that push. So I started with 8, took off 5. I've got 3 left. I'm going to take off one more Tesla at, I'll put my order at $8. That's the move I was looking for, Tezzy. S&P pumping, VIX dropping, Q's pumping. Tesla didn't quite get to my $8 order. MSTR's bouncing back. I needed it to hold better than it did though. Coin was the better of the two. I was looking at both of them at the time when it pushed back up when it dipped and then pushed back up to previous day high. Coin held and ripped. MSTR kept dipping. It's bouncing now, but Coin was the better horse. Hood's getting another volume bar. Tesla about to hit $8. One more little tick up. Filled. I love getting in a good Tesla run. When Tesla does its Tesla thing, those are good ones. Those are fun ones. All right, indices, a little bit of a pause here after that big push. Russell at highs of day. Russell's still the strongest. It got back all of its pre-market dip and more, whereas S&P and NASDAQ have not yet. What do you think, Tezzy? You got some more in the tank here? S&P dropping back to unchanged. S&P
Order filled.
Kind of dipping now.
Order cancelled.
Meta rolling over. My 1 DTE is up about 10%. PLTR dipping back below pre-market highs. Uber is coming back down to pre-market highs. Tesla making new highs. I like it. Microsoft back down to lows. Amazon's still pretty weak. Apple had that first move in the first 5 minutes and then hasn't done anything. MSTR got back up to previous day high and falling again. Banks are pushing. JP, Goldman, Bank of America, all pushing. So HID had a big volume bar. What I don't like is it had this crazy run and then this big volume spike after the run. I just a lot of times that'll signal a little bit of exhaustion as opposed to continuation like this one, like the early one. Yeah, that upside volume bar, that upside volume runner in HID, the early one would have been beautiful. Anybody take that? Amazon coming back down. S&P's had about a 25-point range so far. Haven't had any big stop outs. Coin is now one of the strongest stocks on my board. S&P dipping. Amazon about to go through lows. Meta still coming down. Russell staying the strongest. Didn't really dip much. Still staying above near highs. Uber falling apart now. Tesla now dipping a little bit. S&P back in the red. NASDAQ in the red as well. MSTR falling apart, whereas coin is still holding above previous day high, but it's also dipping. Microsoft trying to hold the lows, hold above the lows. Krish, what'd you do? Did you stick your car key in the plug-in socket? What happened? You're not supposed to do that. That'll take your power out every time. Some kind of breaker blue, fuse box. PLTR couldn't hold above pre-market highs. TSM getting a big bounce back after being one of the weaker ones. Same with AMD. AMD's back to highs of day. SMCI, one of the weaker chips. AVGO and MU still below yesterday's lows. SMH is basically at break even on the day. So I'm still holding a couple lots in Tesla. We'll this dip, getting bought up a little bit here. Let's see if it's got another leg. See if it wants to get some legs. Nice bouncing goog. TSM now trying to go green. Coin still holding above previous day high. Bitcoin's at lows of day though. And MSTR weak. HUD still holding above previous day high as well.
Order filled. Order cancelled. Order filled.
S&P back in the green. Tesla trying to make a run back up to highs, it looks like. MSTR down to lows of day, almost. Bitcoin going through lows. So looking at potential levels for Tesla to take profits from. So I'm looking at an hourly chart and just kind of going back. So we had a pretty decent pivot back here on November 12th where it dropped, and then November 10th. So some levels there were still below. If this thing really wants to keep moving today, So that first one's at about 440, a little under 443. So if I put my profit target at $9, it would be a little bit above that. So I'll leave that profit target at 9 for now. If it starts approaching that level and rejecting, I may bail. See if it wants to keep pushing though. Looks like Reed Hastings sold $40 million of his Netflix shares today. Appears to be kind of the time that it started dumping, I guess. It looks like they've also submitted a, well, this was yesterday, but it looks like they submitted a bid to buy Warner Bros. Studios and HBO. All right, S&P bouncing, Tesla through highs. Big bounce out of MU. Back above yesterday's low. Hood still holding. Coin still holding. Previous day high. Apple still holding. Netflix trying to get a little bounce. Tesla almost pushed up to my $9 profit target, dipping a little bit. All right, all. I'm going to wrap the stream here. I don't see anything I'm going to take right at this time. MSTR was a loser. Tesla winner. I've got one more bullet in the chamber if I see something really good. Otherwise, everybody have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in Power Hour. Take care.